Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy. Little gap between videos, bigger gap than usual. Sorry about that. Time, weather, usual stuff. But I am here today and hopefully I will be able to get a video in before it rains. The last video I brought you my superlative, my beloved, my bestest friend ever, Selkirk fighting knife designed by me and made by Jed Hornbeak. High level in knife achievement. This week, not so much. This week I go to the other end of the spectrum. I bring you the Ozark Trail via Walmart survival knife. This is a sub $10 knife. I paid about $8.40 for this. The steel is mystery steel. It has serrations, jimping, and this is the cheapest fixed blade that I could find. Well, I wasn't really looking for it. I actually was, just kind of perusing the camping stuff at Walmart, because God willing and the river don't rise before the summer is over, or maybe before the fall. I'll be able to at least go camping for a couple of weeks or get on a hike or something. I want to get back out in the woods. When I was a kid, I was always out in the woods, and then I grew up and was very infrequently out to the woods. So, okay, I thought my battery was going. Anyway, first look at this. This is not a camp knife. This is not a trail knife. This is not an outdoor knife. I don't know. This is more of a kind of a Saturday night special of knives. The design just does not lend itself to outdoor knife. Offhand, I would say this is like a glove box knife, tackle box knife, just something that is eminently expendable, something they really don't care about. But this was in the camping section, so there might be people that don't know knives, don't know anything about camping, this is their first time out, that think that this is going to get them through a camping trip. I have my doubts, and given the price, I'm sure all of you do too. But we're going to try it. Cord wrapped handle. I think those are just, they're kind of in style, but right now I think the manufacturer just using this excuse to, a lot of the manufacturers are just using this thing as an excuse, the cord wrap as an excuse to, boy, I'm fumbling with words today, to use a really cheap handle material. And people say, yeah, but if you just have this knife and it's cord wrapped and you need cordage, you can take it off your handle. And okay, so you're making your handle your knife less safe to use and less useful for a little bit of cordage. That doesn't make any sense to me. But to each his own. I did sharpen this a little just to make it fair in the testing, because it came kind of dull. I just put on just enough edge to make the testing fair. Now, I did buy 2 of these because once I'm done with the interview and I get the time and the stars align, I'm going to try to master the no-spin knife throw technique. And I thought this would be good. This is actually a decent shape for that, I think. And if I screw them up, then I'm not out really that much. There's not a whole lot to say about the knife itself. Okay. It comes with a standard nylon sheath with a pretty poorly stitched on belt loop that would probably come loose in about an hour. And a fire starter, which at least every time I've tried it so far, and just to show you, the paint is off of it where I'm trying to strike, and it does not work. Even if I dare to dull my serrations, it does not work. I've also tried it on some carbon steel knives. Doesn't work. But we'll go out to the war post and do the standard thing with it. And who knows, it might hold up. It might not. My testing is not particularly hard on knives, I understand that, but I've had knives fail. I've had high-end knives fail. I've had well-respected company knives fail. And we'll see what this will do. Now, actually, with this, I want to see what it is capable of, so I might do a little bit, I might be a little bit harder on this than other knives. Because as I said, what bothers me about these kind of knives is they put them in the camping section. They're not in the case with the other knives. They're over there with the tents and things like that. And people might want to be taking these out on camping trips. And even if you're just, doing light camping, I call it, at a dedicated campground, a knife that fails you is a big problem. Or if you're on a long day hike or something like that, you need your knife to work. And if this is the only one you have to know what it's capable of, right? So, to the war post we go with the Bugetiest. I made up a new word, Bugetiest, of budget knives, and we'll see what the mystery steel will hold up to. And now we go out to the war post, and hopefully it won't be raining by the time I get out there. Okay, I have a new high-tech testing apparatus here. It's called the Broken Chair-O-Matic. We're going to use that for the Donnie B all-day drop test. Not bad. Let's drop that again. It cants off a little to the side. This lanyard might be making me drop it wrong. Not bad. Now let's do a little tip string. Well, we'll throw it in there pretty hard. A decent bite. While it's in there, let's see what kind of prying it can do. I don't know if you can see that or not, but we do have a slight bend, but nothing major, and you can see it was in there pretty far. It's already starting to sprinkle out here, so we better expedite this whole process. Okay, the water bottle test. Already I hate this handle. Okay, that slash did not penetrate. Neither did that. And I did sharpen this blade slightly. I didn't want to completely skew the test. I did get some pretty deep gouges. Let's try the stab and rip. Okay, that's something. This is a very uncomfortable knife to hold, and the war post itself. Okay, this jimping will dig into your hands. It's painful. They need to really be more contoured. Okay, not too shabby. very uncomfortable. Even when you cap the knife, I wind up banging my finger. Even when I cap the knife, I wind up banging my finger on this guard here. Now, I think I'm going to get in here because it's going to rain big time here very shortly. Hey folks, had to rush the testing a little bit because it's going to rain and I didn't want to get my camera wet. Really don't care if I get wet. And I dropped the camera on the way down here, so I'm just glad it's working. You saw that it developed a slight bend. I don't know if you can actually see it. It is so slight, but it's there. And that was just very soft wood in that old chair I was using. And the failure to cut the bottle, you can see where scratches made a nice little X there. I'm not so much blaming that on the design, on the sharpness of the knife. It could have been sharper, like I said. I just put a minimum edge on it. But more of the design of the knife. The blade shape and the handle, and the fact that it's partially serrated and you can't really get a good edge alignment with it, meant that I was only cutting from about here to here, and it just probably wasn't. That's my experience. That's an observation. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I think happened. Because the slash and rip, it left a pretty clean cut. And I had to be careful not to use the serrations because they would have gotten caught in the bottle. So it's not the durability of this knife that concerns me. It's an outdoor knife. Bending is better than breaking. And the bend was relatively slight, although harder wood might have caused more of a problem. Though my biggest problem is the overall design. This is just not cut out for outdoor. It would be, because of the serrations, it would be very hard to skin with it, in my opinion. There's just not enough straight cutting edge. The guard has very sharp angles, which cut into your finger. The jimping, if you're bearing down on it to do any work with it, can become it becomes uncomfortable in a hurry. And particularly when you're doing any kind of impacting with it. It's too small to chop. Even the wrapping, paracord wrapping, isn't particularly well done. It's very loose. There's not enough of it to give you a real purchase for doing any kind of work on it. This would be very comfortable in the hand doing any kind of work, like for feather sticking, which I didn't try because as I said, I had to rush for the weather. But having said all of that, $8.40 thereabouts. So buy a couple of these. Now myself, like I said, I'm going to try to use these. I'm going to straighten this one out, get the other one that I bought, and set up a target and see if I can master no spin throwing with these. I don't mind beating them up because I suck at that kind of thing, and I'm probably going to suck really bad when I first get started. And these things are going to be landing flat and on a hilt, and I don't want to be out anything. But other than that, uses, it's a knife. You can make them sharp. Like I say about a lot of budget knives, especially the really, really budget knives, the Bugetiest knives. Throw them in your glove box, tackle box. Just, you can buy a bunch of these and just have them around, and if they're sharp, they'll be useful for cutting, and that's what knives are supposed to do. Relying on them on any kind of real world stuff beyond very light use, no. Also, I think you can see, let's see if I can see it now in this light. Yeah, we're starting to already lose some of the black finish. So the design of the knife is the biggest problem, more than the durability. And the edge retention, even the edge I put on it, didn't last through that training. I mean that testing. So yeah, I mean, if you come across one of these, it can't hurt for that kind of money. It can't hurt to pick them up. If you're, an outdoorsman and just have that extra truck knife, glove compartment knife. That expendable knife that you can use for things that are beneath your expensive knife. But not much else would these things be good for. Certainly, I tried that fire starter, which I pitched, with high carbon steel knives. So the fire starter doesn't work at all either. So not much to do about that. So that's about it. Except I am going to put another commercial in for my novel, Fireteam Alpha. The Fate of Nations Fireteam Alpha Book 1. Got distracted by another thought that I have to put in here. Available on Amazon, available at Barnes & Noble. There's a graphic of it with all of that stuff at the beginning of the video. Also, you saw at the beginning of the video a picture of a missing person. This is my sister-in-law's nephew, so he's kind of family. He's been missing for about 3 months now. So this is kind of an act of desperation. I know most of my subscribers don't live around here, but 3 months, if he's still alive, he could be anywhere. So if you see him, use the contact information on the video card. There'll be a link to the missing persons for the Ohio Attorney General in the description. If you see him, we'd like to find him. And with that, I bid you to draw your knives only in just purpose, sheathe them only in honor, like, share, and subscribe if you have a mind. Oh, and before I completely sign off, I am approaching 300 subscribers. When I last looked, I was at 252 subscribers. There will be another giveaway at 300. So I'll let you know. Now, with that, I bid you goodbye.